What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for thelines.com, playpicks.com, and let's talk some NFL draft here in 2022, specifically all the different ways you can bet the NFL draft. Kind of a 101 here for you in case this is new to you. I mean, listen, there are a lot of new states out there, and maybe you've just never bet the draft before and are interested in betting this year. As always, everything we do, absolutely free. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up, and then let us know in the comment section what bets do you already have in your account, what bets you thinking about making, which ones do you like the best, which ones do you hate, any of that stuff. Let us know in the comment section. Over here on the Lines, betting guide, absolutely free. You can compare all the different books as to how you want to go about betting this thing. You can see first overall pick. That's what we're kind of comparing right there. The other thing you can do is just see the draft order as well as some of the needs that we've kind of identified for some of these teams out there. Very helpful as you start to make your bets as well. And again, little blurbs on some of the players, all the different stuff like that. So just be sure and head over to the draft guide over on the Lines while you are at it. We'll head over to DraftKings because, listen, they have the most expansive menu right now, but we'll look at a couple of the other books as well, some of the stuff that they're offering. Basic stuff that you would imagine. Number 1 overall pick, number 2 overall pick. They allow you to go all the way down to the number 5 overall pick. I don't know how the draft's going to play out all the way to number 5, but, very popular. Who's going to go number 1 overall? Who's going to go number 2 overall? We'll skip draft position for now because these are just kind of self-explanatory as well. Top 5, who's going to go in the top 5? If you think that Malik Willis is going to go in the top 5, you're going to get paid 3-1 on your money. If you think that Trayvon Walker is going to go in the top 5, you got to lay $550 to win $100. Same deal for the top 10. Do you think these guys are going to go in the top 10? And then top 32 is basically you just saying this guy's going to be a first rounder. So Kenny Pickett, yes, minus 5,000 because he is widely considered to be one of the 2 that are slam dunks to go in the first round as far as quarterbacks go. But you can see, look, Chris Olave is in the first round in every single mock draft that comes out, but you got to lay 900 to win 100. That said, we got the bankroll, maybe not the worst bet in the whole world. We'll come back here over to draft position. So we're looking here, this would be Sauce Gardner, right? So it's sitting at 7.5. If we look, that means if you want to bet on Sauce Gardner to go at pick 1 through 7, if you have the under, you win the bet. If he goes pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7, you win the bet. If he goes 8th or later, then you are going to either lose the bet, or if you take the over at plus 150, you'll win right there. So basically, whatever this number is, if you pick the under, then he has to go before that number. If you pick the over, he has to go after that number in the first round. So be sure and check these out. If you have a good bead on how you think, this is going to go or where some of these guys are going to end up, this could be a market for you. One of the other is position totals. So basically, you go in, how many defensive players are going to go in the first round? How many offensive players are going to go in the first round? Then you can go by position as well. Corners, offensive linemen, quarterbacks, running backs, safeties. Look, this one under a half a running back. Every year it is, set at 1 basically. Is a running back going to go in the first round or not? You can see the under minus 190. People think that there's not going to be one until the second round this year. You can go all the way down to wide receivers drafted. That number set at 5.5. Then you can go into just the individual positions as well. Quarterback props, you can imagine, you know exactly how that's going to play out. Wide receiver, running backs, et cetera, et cetera. So first quarterback selected. If you go to wide receiver, same deal. First wide receiver selected. Running back, who's going to be the first? You go to corner, same deal. Then you can go over to college props. And this was fairly interesting too. How many ACC players, Big 10 players, Big 12, SEC players? How many of these are going to go in the first round? You can start dissecting some of these mock drafts. See, is there a theme? Does it seem like consistently more than 10.5 SEC players continue to get mocked? Maybe there's value there. Or is it consistently under? And then you can go in and try and make a bet on stuff like that. You can see over here, over on PointsBet, which is pretty interesting. You can also do, they have a tab combination props. So you can pick an exacta or a trifecta, which means you got to pick the exact 1, 2, or if you do the trifecta, the exact 1, 2, 3 pick, how the draft is going to go. If you are pretty confident that Aiden Hutchinson and Trayvon Walker are going to go 1 and 2 in the draft, you get paid plus 190 on them to go 1, 2. Is it going to flip flop? If that's what you're feeling, you'll get 230 on that, et cetera, depending on how you think this is going to go. Same deal with the trifecta, except you have to pick the first pick, the second pick, and the third pick in exact order. So be sure and take a look at that to see if, look, sometimes some pretty decent little money here on all these, especially if you feel like you have a good idea of how this is going to go. Over on FanDuel, one of the things they'll do is these team draft specials. So you can take a look. Position of the Arizona Cardinals first drafted player. So are the Cardinals going to take a linebacker, a wide receiver, et cetera, et cetera? You can go down. They have it for the Bears. They have it for the Broncos, the Colts, the Giants, the Jets, the Cardinals. Again, this is for their first player selected. And then you can come right down here for what are the Giants going to do with the 5 and the 7? Because if you remember, multiple teams with multiple first-round picks this year. You can see the Giants come in at 5 and 7. So FanDuel's going to ask you, how are they going to go with 5 and 7? And you can see the payouts for those. Pretty big, pretty nice, big fat payouts for that. You also have the team to draft Kenny Pickett. Who is Kenny Pickett going to go to? Over here on DraftKings, you can pick the team that he is going to go to. You also have that for Malik Willis as well. Who is going to draft Malik Willis in that first round? Finally, just a fun one, Mr. Irrelevant. You can pick. It's going to be an offensive player, going to be a defensive player or punter, offensive player or kicker. And that's, Mr. Irrelevant, the last person taken in the entire draft. But guys, more props keep getting added every single day and will continue to get added as we lead up to the draft. So be sure and do your research and get in on some of these numbers, some of these props. You can kind of figure out how these things are going to go. And, it is a super fun way. If you're going to be watching the draft anyway, have a little action on it. Certainly will make your viewing experience even better. If you have any questions about betting the draft, be sure and let those be known in the comment section below. We'll be back looking at these and trying to answer some of your questions as well. And we'll have tons more draft content as we continue on here. Again, it's going to be tough to try and decipher everything with so many teams with multiple picks, but we will do our best to help you try to make the 2022 NFL Draft a profitable one for you. Good luck on all your bets here in the draft.